Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Always More TV. It's so wonderful to be back with all of you, our friends, and we have a dear friend who is back with us today around the table for some fascinating discussion. I know you're going to love her. Many of you already know her. She is the Consul General for Israel to the Southeastern United States. And her name is Anat Sultan-Dadon. She's been a dear friend now for 6 years. She's completing her tenure here to the Southeast and moving on to whatever is next for her. So welcome, Anat. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me again.
It's so wonderful to sit around the table with you and just chat about your tenure here and all that has taken place. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of the incredible 6 years that I've had the privilege of representing Israel in this region.
It's been wonderful. And we were just reminiscing that we met just weeks after you arrived.
Right.
And what a friend you have been to me. But you have that gift. I said to you earlier, like my grandmother, my mom's mom, of just making everyone feel special, like you're important, you're valued, you're loved, and that's a gift. Did you grow up with that gift, or how was that instilled to you?
Well, thank you. I have a genuine interest in people and connecting with people. And growing up, I grew up, my father was a diplomat representing Israel. And so I grew up in Israel and also in different countries around the world and observed him representing Israel, connecting with people. And I have the privilege of doing so myself for the past over 20 years now.
Wow. How can it be 20 years? You still are so young and you have much ahead, much ahead.
Time goes by quickly.
It was a blessing to meet your parents back in December of last year, and what gracious, loving people they are as well. So I know you're looking forward to being close to them in Israel when you return.
Absolutely. Looking forward. It will be difficult to say goodbye to so many incredible friends that we've made here, but it will, of course, be good to be back home as well.
It's difficult for us, too, to say goodbye. And I think about the gifts that you have to just bring people together of all faiths and backgrounds and ideologies, and just love people where they are. And I said earlier that, you know, we're taught as Christians to be ambassadors, and you have taught us well. I've watched your life and watched on Instagram, and you've been tireless in getting out. You could have, many times holed up in an office, but you didn't. You were constantly out, loving the people, visiting the people, going all over the southeastern states. Was it 7 states?
Yes, we cover 7 southeastern states from the consulate in Atlanta.
Yes. And of course, Georgia is your favorite, right?
They are all my favorite. Georgia's on my mind, definitely. But it's really been a privilege. So we cover the Carolinas, and we cover Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, and of course, Georgia. And they've all been really a pleasure to work with. We have so many incredible friends and supporters in all of these states that are really the content that drives these relations forward between Israel and the United States.
We were blessed to meet many of those people and to hear from them at your recent farewell, and just to hear their heart. And it's a common thread among everyone of how they feel about you and the impact you've made on all of our lives. And that's a very special gift. But I met people from Alabama and Tennessee and all over who just all had the same thing to say about your leadership and your service. You've been we would say as Christians, a missionary to us in many ways from Israel, so thank you for that. I wanted to just discuss a little bit about the recent events in Israel and the conflict, many of the conflicts that Israel has faced, very serious challenges over the last few months. If you would just speak to that a moment.
Of course. So we are now over 18 months into a war that was forced on us by enemies who seek our destruction. It started, of course, with the October 7th attack, the massacre committed by the Hamas terror organization when it attacked Israel on October 7th of 2023. This was 633 days ago, and they not only massacred 1,200 men, women, and children that day, they also took, brutally dragged into captivity 251 hostages, and we still today have 50 hostages languishing in brutal captivity in Gaza, 20 of them alive, and there is an incredible urgency to seeing them all home. And so thank you for wearing the yellow pin that is meant to raise awareness for the fact that there are still hostages in captivity in Gaza. And really, it is an Israeli responsibility to see them home, but it is a shared responsibility for all of us.
Yes.
Because this is the most basic human call.
Yes.
To see people who were ripped from their homes, to see them return to their homes, to their families. And while this is what we faced on our southern border, we know that this is not the only front. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by Iranian terror proxies, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, terror militias in Syria and Iraq, and of course the head of the snake, the Iranian terror regime that has also directly attacked Israel. And recently, Israel actually launched an Operation Rising Lion, in order to remove an imminent existential threat that the Iranian terror regime posed towards Israel in both its nuclear weapons program and its ballistic missiles program. Both are a part of their greater plan to destroy the state of Israel. And we had to act in order to remove that imminent existential threat. But we know with all of these threats and with all of these enemies that we are fighting, they are the enemies of Israel and the Jewish people, but they don't only see us as the enemy.
Yes.
They see America as the enemy. They see the entire free world as the enemy. And that is why we say that we are on the front line of fighting an enemy that is an enemy of all of us.
Yes.
And we've seen other countries recognize this and join in helping Israel intercept these ballistic missiles that are launched from Iran. And we've also seen the United States decide to also take action against these nuclear weapons sites, because it is also an American interest to see that this dangerous regime does not hold these dangerous capabilities.
Yes, I think Americans owe a debt of gratitude to the tremendous courage of the IDF soldiers who even made it possible to go in to take care of those nuclear facilities, and extreme courage under pressure. And so we do feel, as Americans, many of us feel that what was done was not done for Israel as much as it was for the entire world. So we do owe a debt of gratitude. And we do look at your life and the courage that you've had to stand under pressure. Even while there were protests outside of the consulate here in Atlanta, not many, but a few, there were some situations.
Quite a few.
As a matter of fact, I think I was on the phone with you one day, or we were texting back and forth, and there was a situation there, and you were trying to come here and able. What is it like to live with that level of security and caution? It takes a great deal of courage and wisdom to navigate even just the normal everyday life.
Unfortunately, this is a reality that we are all too familiar with. Sadly, even here in the United States, as you mentioned, there have been across the country, there have been many demonstrations of hatred towards Israel, hatred towards the Jewish people. And we know that it's gone beyond words, beyond demonstrations.
Yes.
We saw the horrific attack in Colorado against innocent people who were merely marching to raise awareness for the fact that there are still hostages in captivity in Gaza. We saw the horrific terror attack murdering two of my colleagues from our embassy in Washington, D.C. recently. This is the direct result of the incitement and the hate-filled rhetoric that we are seeing all around us.
Yes.
And this is the reality that we face. But we know that it's not just our responsibility. It's not just the Israeli responsibility or the Jewish people's responsibility
Yes.
to speak up against this hatred, to speak up against this climate of anti-Semitism, because it is about all of us.
Yes.
It's about the kind of world that we all want to be a part of, that we all want to leave our children.
Yes, and you and I have discussed several times the battle between good versus evil. And as Christians, we fight with prayer. That's important too. And recognizing it, not putting our head in the sand, and recognizing this evil and praying that God will strengthen Israel and bless Israel. And that's a mandate. There's a scripture that my father would always hang on to. I will bless those that bless Israel. I will curse those that curse Israel. And so that's a very important mandate, I believe, for Christians to stand by.
And even more so, and this is why we have the white rose here on the table. Yes, we appreciate the support and the prayer from so many of our Christian friends, but this moment in time also demands action.
Yes.
Actively using one's voice in order to speak up for the truth, in order to actively stand on the right side of history. And you're an example of a woman who is using her voice in order to share the truth, in order to stand for what is right, in order to stand for what is moral, for what is human. And that is why we were proud to be able to nominate you, and you've received the White Rose Award, recognizing those individuals who've had the courage and the moral clarity to stand with Israel and with the Jewish people after October 7th, because we need voices such as yours.
Well, thank you so much. It's a very humbling award to receive from the White Rose Society, and you can find out more about the White Rose Society and the founder, Linda Seelig, who was here with us. We just finished a WATC Presents, a very special Atlanta Live edition. You can go on WATC, who is our parent studio here, and you can view, and Anat goes into a little more detail about some of the things that Israel is facing. But what an honor to receive that award, and thank you for the nomination. And I feel most undeserved, and all of our viewers who watch, you are part of this because you have been such a support of Always More, and we will always stand by Israel.
Thank you.
That is so important to us. Now, moving forward, Consul General, as you go back, what are your visions and dreams for Israel moving forward, and for you personally in diplomatic service?
I'll be moving back to Jerusalem. I'll be working at the headquarters of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Jerusalem. And later on, who knows where, but I know that it will always be about representing Israel, strengthening Israel, because my identity, my Jewish identity, my Israeli identity, I take great pride in that. And it's been a privilege and an honor for me to be able to represent the state of Israel for over 20 years now in my career, and I look forward to continuing to do that.
And I know you'll do a great job. You shared at your farewell a little bit about your family and how they had been your source of strength through all of the service here. Would you like to share a little bit about your family and who they are?
Sure. So I will say in general that a diplomatic career is very unique in that while the diplomat is the one that is pursuing the career and representing, there is an entire family behind that diplomat. And in my case, my husband my husband Yaron and our 3 girls, Leah, Shai, and Neve, have been the ones who have been standing with me and supporting me in this career, and also taking part in moving every few years to a different country, learning a different landscape, a different people, a different culture. And in a way, it's a career that a family really embraces together in order to be able to do this.
Yes. When you saw your father serving, and you probably moved a lot as growing up, were you inspired then to a diplomatic role?
I certainly was fascinated by it, and I was very, very interested, but I also knew that I would never pursue this career.
Really?
Because I knew the demands that it makes of one's partner and family.
Yeah.
And while it may be easier for a wife to follow her husband around the world, pursuing and supporting the husband's career, it is not that common the other way around. And I knew that I wanted a husband and a family. And so it is actually my husband, Yaron, who saw the tender in the newspaper then with the call for applications to the cadet course in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And he's the one that brought it to me and said, Anat, you have to apply. This is so perfect for you.
Wow.
And that's how it started.
Wow. How did he recognize those gifts in you? What do you think it was that he saw, that he felt, she could do this? We could do this.
I think knowing the curiosity that I have and my interest in learning and engaging with other people's cultures, countries, learning about others and finding connecting points, alongside, of course, my love for my country and my people.
It's great. And it's wonderful to have the support of your husband and family. You shared some very special things concerning your youngest daughter, and you've been pretty vocal about her journey on social media and shared a bit of her life. And that, what an inspiration she is to me. I think of her often, Neve, and what an inspiration she is to us all. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Of course. So our youngest daughter, Neve, was born with a rare genetic syndrome, and she has multiple disabilities. She is 14 years old. She's nonverbal. She is still working on perfecting her walking and basically life skills that come naturally to people. They are all a significant struggle for her. She's been an incredible source of light and love in our lives. And I feel that there is really an importance of sharing her story, and in general, of speaking more openly about disabilities, about those weaker members in our society, because how we treat them and how we create a space for them among us, not on the fringes of society, but as a part of us, that only enriches our society and makes our society stronger. And that's a responsibility that we all share. And so as the mother of an incredible daughter with multiple disabilities, I feel that it's important for me to share her story, to share her struggles, but also to shine a light on how important these individuals are for all of us.
Didn't the doctors say to you that she would never meet many of those mile markers?
So when she was born, we mainly heard what she would never do. And we heard a lot about how limited her time with us would be and everything that she would never be able to do. And she is our child, and our responsibility was not to listen to what she could not and what she would not. Our responsibility was to believe in her and to give her as much support as we could so that she could realize her potential. And I think that from day one, she had many struggles, but she had a very, very strong spirit. And it was on us to communicate to her that we believe in her and that we will support her. And that's what we've been doing. And she has done so much that we were told she would never do.
Amazing. She's beautiful. And what are some of the lessons you would say you have drawn from her in order to lead as a diplomat?
Well, I think first and foremost, she has taught me about what matters in life, how to look really at what matters, how to focus on that, but also kindness, how to see others, how to look at others and understand that I may not know what are the hardships that they face.
Yes.
To offer a lending hand. I think that viewing the world with the benefit of being able to see her and how she functions in the world, which is all filled with innocence and love. That's the essence of her being. I think that it allows for all of us to be better human beings in our approach to people. And diplomacy in the end is all about connecting with people. And I think that when you see the other in front of you, no matter where they come from, who they are, what their culture is, what they bring with them, when you see them and find a way to relate and connect with them, that's the basis really for any connection, but also for diplomacy.
It is indeed. And she has been an inspiration to me. So thank you for sharing a little bit with us, her story and her progress. Has she enjoyed it here in Atlanta?
Well, she's been at a terrific school here in Atlanta, Jacob's Ladder, which offers really exceptional love, education, support for children with disabilities. So it's been a privilege being there. She's absolutely loved going to school every day. And that's part, I think, of what has made Atlanta so warm and welcoming for us as a family.
Good to hear. Southern hospitality,
Absolutely.
we hope, is not
just
a
a
thing of the
saying.
past. Yes, that's very good. I want you to maybe address people who are watching today, maybe young people who are thinking about a job in diplomacy or international relations. What would you say? What would you say to a young person?
I would say, first of all, it's an incredible career. It's an incredible career that allows you to constantly learn and open up to different cultures, to different peoples, to learn about others, and then find connecting points in order to do meaningful work together that is mutually beneficial. And we look at the world around us, we see so many challenges in so many realms, and we know that addressing those challenges can be much more effective if we do it together.
Oh, so good.
And that is really what international relations at their finest is about. And I will add also, as I've shared with you, that I would love to see many more women in international relations, in diplomacy. We are still underrepresented in this field, and I think that women have so much to contribute and to bring to the table when it comes to international relations and diplomacy.
Indeed, yes. And what about to moms watching? I feel you've spoken to someone's heart today, maybe even with a child with disabilities. And I look at you and I marvel at the balance, the grace that you've carried to be a mom and be at such a high level of a diplomatic office. What would you say to moms about balancing, and maybe even a mother watching today who has a child with disabilities?
I think what has helped me is allowing myself not to be perfect. I can't do it all. I can't do it all perfectly. And so I have to choose. And I've made peace with the fact that I'm juggling so much, some balls will drop, and that's okay. So I think that we all need to be a little bit easier on ourselves. I think that we have a lot that we can do.
That's right.
And I don't think that we should be the ones limiting ourselves. We should go for everything, but we also should be easier on ourselves.
That's good.
We don't have to do it all. We don't have to get it all perfect. And we can and we should ask for help.
That's so
because
good.
we can't do it alone.
That's wonderful. I have enjoyed staying in touch with you via the daily report from the consulate. Would you like to share that with our viewers so
Absolutely.
that we can stay in
and
touch?
So 633 days ago, and it's unfathomable that this war is still not over and the hostages are still not home. But when the October 7th attack occurred, what we started doing at the consulate was issuing a regular newsletter so that we can update all of our friends and contacts about what is going on on the ground, key facts, information, analysis, because I think one of the most dangerous things that we are witnessing is the spread of lies and misinformation.
Yes.
And the best way to counter that, the best way to effectively engage in conversation about what is going on is to equip ourselves with knowledge, to educate ourselves. And so the newsletter that the consulate issues is a means of allowing for people to really learn more about what is going on. And you can reach out to our consulate Israel in Atlanta and ask to subscribe. We're also on social media, and we will gladly get anyone on that mailing list to receive these regular updates.
That's fantastic. And it would be worth your time and your effort to connect with the consulate here in Atlanta and to hear this report. It's so informative and full of a lot of love, and a lot of work goes into it to keep us informed about what's happening on the home fronts in Israel as well as here. And I know it will bless you very much. And I know Anat has blessed you today as she has me. I really want to pinch myself that I get to sit down with you, and what a blessing of a lifetime to be your friend and your sister. And I think our viewers at home feel that way too. What a blessing to all of us. And
Can I say one last thing?
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you for today, for 6 years of friendship, but for many more years of friendship to Israel and to the Jewish people. And one last thing for your viewers, visit Israel.
Yes.
Now is the time to go. If you're asking yourself whether now is the time to go, now is the time to go.
Yes.
We would love to see you in Israel.
And I look forward to seeing you in Israel. We look forward to seeing all of you as well. Thank you so much for being with us today. And thank you, Consul General, for being back with us. What a blessing it has been.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you next time right here on Always More TV.